Welcome to the Shred the Spread podcast, your home for all of your NFL sports betting needs. I'm your host, Jared, and back for Thursday Night Football. Alongside for the ride, my right-hand man, Dino. What's going on, man?
What's goody, Brody? How you feeling, baby? You ready to get this week two started?
Football season, I'm feeling great.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Look, you got a nice little Thursday night special for you. It's your boys. What they going to do tonight?
They should handle business, but will they handle business? We're about to find out.
All right, here we go. So in all likelihood, Deshaun Jackson's going to at least get a return. Deshaun Jackson gets a block. Are you kidding? Way downtown. Oh, what a shot from Curry. That is a disgusting act by Randy Moss.
All right, Thursday Night Football in Philadelphia, the home opener for the Eagles, coming off of a win, not pretty, but nevertheless a win against the Bill Belichick-led New England Patriots. The Vikings traveling to Philadelphia as 6.5-point underdogs. So just a little bit of injury news. It looks like the center and the right tackle for the Vikings are questionable. Nakobe Dean is, I believe, ruled out. And then we're not going to have James Bradbury and Kenneth Gainwell. Reed Blankenship as well. So Reed Blankenship, Kenneth Gainwell, and James Bradbury are not going to be with the Eagles for this game. I don't know, man. I dug into some of my notes and I was looking back at the past week, and obviously the Eagles and Vikings played each other last year. And if I remember correctly, Darius Slay had Jefferson in a box. He had him in a big box. I'll just feeling this out. What is your read on this game? Like, what do you have? What's in your mind? Talk to me.
Really, what's in my mind is the spread at -6.5 is kind of, but I mean, to be honest with you, I really believe the Eagles are double digits better than this team. I mean, they should probably go out there and blow them out. It's just a matter of the Vikings do keep it close. Like I said, they somehow found their way once again in a one-score game, a one-possession game. I'm not one-possession game, a one-score game, and lost to the Buccaneers. Remember how we was talking about last year, how they had 10 one-score games last year? Yeah, 10 wins out of one-score games last year. Yep. The fortunes change now. You're going to start to see the fortunes change. I mean, I wouldn't completely count them out. I mean, they still got Jay Jettas and Kirk Cousins throwing the ball around. They got Hawkinson out there, but at -6.5 is kind of little too steep for me. But no, I got you guys winning by a landslide.
Yeah. So the problem that I keep running into is the adjustment on the number, because the Vikings opened up at 7.5. So this number was getting pounded, and I'm trying to debate on whether that's good or bad. Because in my opinion, if you look at to last week and you're looking at the way the Vikings played, their defense was atrocious. Mike Evans and Godwin were wide open. It felt like every single play, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin had an opportunity to make some type of explosive play. And that's really where I'm struggling with this number, because we have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith.
Now keep going. And you got more.
And Dallas Goedert, who didn't get catches, Quez Watkins. God. I think there's just a difference in presence with this Eagles offense and even the running game. So I'm really curious to see how DeAndre Swift is elevated in this offense now that Gainwell most likely is out.
Should get more touches. Definitely should get more touches.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be a focus on Dallas Goedert. But I mean, I really, for some reason, just looking at some of the numbers, A.J. Brown's props are really sticking out to me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, this is a prop game.
Yeah, on the flip side, you might like this one. So obviously, Nakobe Dean being out is not it's significant because we don't really have that much linebacker depth. But I was looking at some of these numbers, and this is your guy, so you know who I'm about to talk about.
Go ahead.
T.J. Hawkinson, 46.5 yards receiving.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. That's a mismatch.
Doesn't that seem a tad low?
Yeah, a tad low. That's a mismatch nightmare. I mean, let me put it in perspective. And you guys are without Bradbury, too, as well, right? So your secondary is already beat as it is. I mean, that's a great play, on considering the fact that Kirk Cousins has to get it out fast. I mean, once their O-line, you talked about how you got like two offensive linemen hurt right now. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You guys were about to get 6 or 7 sacks anyway. So I definitely love the play. Like I said, I love the tight ends as it is. Hawkinson's definitely a great tight end. He should be a mismatch nightmare. And they should be able to get the ball out quick that way. So, no, I definitely agree with you on that, 100%.
Yeah, and this is also, I mean, this is a really good price too. TJ Hawkinson plus 210 anytime touchdown.
Mhm.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you figure if they want to get the ball out fast, the quickest pass is the middle of the field. So,
Yeah, that got me last week. I ain't gonna lie to you. I definitely played that last week, and that got me. Not gonna
dude,
lie.
I'm trying not to overreact because, last week, I think people are sleeping on how good this Buccaneers defense is. Like,
Oh yeah, no, 100%. That defense, that defense is lights. I mean, this is still a Super Bowl defense. This is still this damn near the same defense when Tom Brady was there when they won the Super Bowl.
And people are acting like the Buccaneers were putting up 30 points a game last year. They weren't.
Right.
The past 2 years, the Buccaneers I think they were like bottom 15. They were like in the bottom half of offense. Like,
Right.
they were just managing the game. They weren't turning the ball over. That's why they were winning. This defense was limiting touchdowns and giving up field goals, and Tom Brady wasn't turning the ball over. That's why that team was successful. I mean, we don't have Tom Brady. We have Baker Mayfield, but the defense does slow the game down and get stops, as we saw last week.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference in this number that why this Eagles minus 6.5 is sticking out to me is because it's the home opener in Philly. I think they kind of took a few notes from the Patriots last week, and the difference that I see is Bill Belichick had all offseason to scheme for this Eagles game. I mean, the Buccaneers beat the Vikings. So do I think this was more of a Vikings offensive struggle or a Patriots defensive front that was led by Bill Belichick? I think that speaks more volume to me. We know that Patriots defense is good.
Right. Let me put this into perspective. I mean, let me put this in from my perspective. At the end of the day, like I said, you guys are light years better than the Vikings. That Vikings offense, like I said, it was somewhat disappointing. Like you said, that I feel like the Buccaneers defense was definitely prepared. I mean, like I said, they game planned all off season. I mean, all that 1 week for that Vikings team, and like I said, they came out and delivered. At the end of the day, like you said, that O-line is still a problem. Like I said, no matter what, that O-line from the Vikings is still a problem. That's going to be a problem all throughout the season long. You guys have the front to absolutely demolish it. I don't see honestly, if you want to be honest, I don't see the Vikings putting up no more than 17 points. No more than 20 to 17 points. And honestly, like you said, that home opener in Philly, I mean, that's always a pumper, man. I mean, you got your Philly fans are completely different out there. And throw in now, like you said, a sense of urgency. Like you said, Darius Slay highlighted it. Oh, no, we need to figure some shit out. It's got to be better. The sense of urgency is going to be there. Hey, like you said, man, I don't know. Like I said, I'm gonna personally stay away from it. But like I said, nah, I expect you guys to win by 10.
Yeah, I've got Eagles 31-17. I really like this Eagles team total over. A lot of people I see are on the over for this game, but I mean, I'm just gonna stick to my play, man. Like 6.5 just seems too short for this team. I know it's Thursday night, but come on now, do we forget about primetime Kirk Cousins? I mean, the dude fades into thin air. Like come on now.
Yeah.
So
I forgot all about that.
Do you see what I'm saying?
There's
but I will say I do like Kirk Cousins over his passing yards. I do think James Bradbury being out is huge because they still have Jordan Addison, who I think is I think is going to be a real problem because he does bring some speed, and our secondary isn't that fast.
And without Bradbury.
Yeah, so you figure Kirk Cousins over passing yards. I really like that. I like the Eagles team total over 27.5. I think they do get 4 touchdowns. I like Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. But yeah, dude, I just see the Vikings came into Tampa like 6-point favorites and they lose outright. Now the Philly came into New England as 3.5, 4-point favorites, depending on where the line you got, and they covered. So we have a team who covered as a favorite, and we have a team that lost outright as a big favorite. So I think that speaks volume as to the public perception and where the sportsbook has them at. The sportsbook throwing up a 7.5 at opening, that says something to me.
Yeah, so they knew, right, off rip.
They feel like this Eagles team is substantially better than the Vikings, and I mean, they had to have known money was going to come in on the Vikings. They had to have known laying that 7.5. A lot of these people were going to bet a bounce back spot, but I just think this is a really bad spot for the Vikings. This offense, you cannot be short on your offensive line when you go to get up against the Eagles. Like Jalen Carter was a line wrecker. He was coming through that line. It was insane how up to speed he is on defense. So I think the Eagles cover. I think they win big. Like I said, I have them 31-17. So I got them winning by 2 tutties. But I mean, do you have any last second props that you want to throw in?
Honestly, like I said, you guys might call me crazy. He didn't have that great of a game. He still scored a touchdown last week. Alexander Madison too. I mean, like I said, you got to get it out quick. Those screen plays. I mean, Madison can definitely come out the backfield and catch the ball, can receive the ball into the end zone. So yeah, you can sprinkle in Madison there.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that, especially after how they struggled last week throwing the ball like 70% of the plays. I think there will be more of an effort to establish the run. And I think his rushing attempts is at like 12.5. I could see him getting 14, 15 touches.
Okay. So you had another prop in there. Okay.
Yeah. So I could definitely see him getting 14, 15 touches, because you figure a 12.5 line, like, that's 4 rushes a quarter. That doesn't sound that crazy. So, but yeah, I think we both can agree TJ Hawkinson might get a big target here. I do like, like I said, Jalen Hurts to get in one time, and then I like that Madison prop you brought up. But I think the Eagles cover. Donnell's more on the props for this game. I really think if, for those of you who are listening, depending on when you're listening, if you get news that the right tackle and the center is out, I'd grab that line, because it's going to shoot back to 7. If one of them are out, it might stay around 6.5. But we got to remember, this Eagles defense is built off that line, and if that line gets going, Kirk Cousins may fade into thin air, like he does every single prime time. But other than that, we're going to get ready to start knocking out this week 2 preview. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to be a really rough week, so we're going to have to dig deep. We're going to have to get our hands dirty for this week. But
we're going to grind this week.
Until next time, we'll see you.
Peace.